"You'll be fine for a few days," my wife said, locking the gate from the outside. "It's just a business trip." "Hi everyone. My name is Daniel Harper," and that was the moment I realized something was wrong. The gate clicked shut. I heard her car pull away. Too fast. No goodbye kiss. No glance back. Inside the house the air felt heavy. Quiet in a way that presses on your chest. My stepson, Noah, was in the living room where I'd left him, strapped into his wheelchair, blanket over his legs, eyes on the TV. He'd been paralyzed from the waist down since the accident. Doctors said he'd never walk again. I went into the kitchen to make coffee. That's when I smelled gas. Strong. Sure. I turned and froze. Noah was standing. Not struggling. Not shaking. Standing. He reached up calmly and turned the stove knob off. Click. Silence. I couldn't breathe. He looked at me, eyes steady, and put a finger to his lips. "Don't scream," he whispered. "Mom wanted it this way." And that's when I noticed the front door had been bolted shut from the inside. My legs wouldn't move. Every sound felt amplified. The hum of the refrigerator, Noah's bare feet on the tile, my own heartbeat crashing in my ears. "You can walk," I finally whispered. He tilted his head. I always could. The words didn't land all at once. They sank. Heavy. Slow. Sickening. But Mom said I had to stay still. Said it made things easier. Easier for who? I glanced at the stove. All 4 burners had been slightly open. The windows were closed. The house had been filling quietly, patiently. "How long was the gas on?" I asked. He shrugged. "Since morning." My throat tightened. "Noah, why did you turn it off?" He looked toward the hallway, then back at me. Lowered his voice. "Because Mom said not to let you die until she got back." Cold rushed through me. "She locked the gate so you wouldn't leave," he continued like he was explaining homework. "And she bolted the doors last night. She said today was just practice." Practice. I moved slowly toward the back door. Locked. Deadbolt engaged from inside. My phone was on the counter. No signal. Noah rolled the wheelchair closer with his foot and sat back down in it. Perfectly. Practiced. Then he looked up at me and said something that split me open. "She said if I told you, you'd stop loving us." I knelt in front of him without thinking. Slow. Careful. Like one wrong move might shatter whatever fragile calm was holding this house together. "Noah," I said softly, "look at me." He did. Those same eyes I'd read bedtime stories to. The same kid who used to apologize for needing help. "You didn't do anything wrong," I told him. "None of this is your fault." His jaw tightened. "Mom said you'd say that. She said you're good at lying so people don't leave." That one hurt. I reached for the phone. Still nothing. No bars. She'd installed a signal blocker months ago, said it was for privacy. I moved to the windows. Painted shut. The house wasn't just locked. It was prepared. "Noah," I asked, keeping my voice steady, "did Mom tell you why?" He hesitated. Then whispered, "She said you were in the way. That if something happened, we'd finally be safe." Safe from me. I stood up slowly, my mind racing. I had to get us out. But I couldn't panic him. He was watching every breath I took. Then he added, almost casually, "She also said the cameras are on. So we have to do this exactly right." My stomach dropped. "Cameras?" I asked. He pointed to the smoke detector. And it blinked red. I forced myself not to look at the blinking light. If the cameras were on, then she was watching. Or someone she paid to watch. I lowered my voice anyway. "Noah," I said gently, "when Mom said exactly right, what did she mean?" He swallowed. "That you stay calm. That I sit back down. That when the gas comes back on, you don't try to be a hero." My hands curled into fists behind my back. "So you turned it off because?" "Because she said if I ever changed my mind," he whispered, "it meant you were worth saving." That sentence almost broke me. I glanced around the room again. The vents were taped. The smoke alarms disabled. This wasn't impulse. It was rehearsal. Planning. I moved closer to him, slow enough not to trigger fear. "You did the bravest thing possible," I said. "Now I need you to do one more." He looked up. "What?" "Help me make it look like nothing changed." His brow furrowed. "But the gas." "I'll handle that," I said. "You just stay in character." Footsteps sounded above us. From the attic. And I realized something worse than the cameras. We weren't alone in the house. The footsteps stopped. Then came a soft scrape, like someone shifting their weight carefully so the ceiling wouldn't creak again. Noah's eyes flicked upward. "She said he'd wait up there," he whispered. In case you tried to leave. My stomach turned cold. Not a ghost. Not a noise. A person. I forced a calm smile and knelt again so the cameras would catch me at his level. Okay, I said evenly. Then we do exactly what she expects. I reached for the stove and turned one burner back, just enough for the faintest hiss. I cracked the kitchen window a finger's width, hiding it behind the curtain. Not escape. Just air. From the ceiling, a slow breath. Someone listening. Noah, I said louder now for the camera. I'm sorry I scared you. Let's just sit. He nodded and rolled back into place, pulling the blanket over his legs like muscle memory. Perfect. Too perfect. I sat on the couch, hands visible, heart hammering. Minutes stretched. Then my phone buzzed. One bar, a text slipping through like a needle. Unknown, good. Stay calm. I'm almost home. From the attic, a whisper answered. Time to turn it all the way back on. And the red light blinked faster. I didn't move. If I reached for the stove too fast, whoever was above us would come down. If I didn't, the gas would finish what she started. So I did the only thing I could do. I talked. I know you're scared, I said calmly, staring straight ahead so the camera would see my face, not my fear. I'd be scared too if someone told me love had rules. Noah's fingers tightened around the armrest. She said you'd try to trick me, he whispered. I'm not tricking you, I replied. I'm telling you the truth. Love doesn't ask kids to keep secrets that can kill people. The attic creaked again. The shoe shifting. Impatient. I stood slowly and walked to the breaker panel instead of the stove. What are you doing? Noah asked. Fixing something she forgot, I said. I flipped the main breaker. The house went dead. Lights out. Cameras off. Silence. From above us, panic. A sharp movement. A curse. In the dark, I leaned close to Noah and whispered, when I say run, you don't look back. You don't wait for me. But I can't. You can, I said firmly. You always could. Footsteps hit the attic ladder. Art. And then the front door rattled. She was home. The attic ladder creaked halfway down. The front gate scraped open. We were boxed in, predator above, betrayer outside. Noah, I whispered, do you remember the old crawl space under the stairs? He nodded barely. Go now. Quiet. I'll follow. He hesitated just long enough to make my heart stop, then wheeled back, kicked off the blanket and ran. Quick. Silent. Into the hallway, disappearing under the stairwell like he'd practiced it 100 times in secret. I turned toward the kitchen just as the attic hatch dropped. A boot appeared. Then a leg. Then him, a man I'd never seen before. Black clothes, heavy boots, latex gloves. Military cut hair and a face that didn't blink. He stepped onto the tile, looked around, confused. No gas hissing. No victim coughing. He turned toward me and I raised both hands, playing dumb. Where's the boy? He asked. Behind him, the door clicked. She walked in, perfect hair, fake concern. Oh, thank God, is it done? The man turned to her slowly. No, he muttered. You said it would be clean. And that's when he noticed. The blinking light was off. The cameras were dead. His eyes darkened. I don't clean up messes. She froze. What do you mean you don't clean up messes? The man didn't answer right away. He looked at me, then at the breaker panel, then back to her. The cameras were part of the deal. Full visual coverage. Insurance. You said I'd be protected. I didn't think. You didn't plan. His voice was ice now. She stepped back instinctively. I'll pay you double. He shook his head. You won't pay me anything. You breached the contract. And you left witnesses. He turned toward me like he might still finish the job, until he noticed the blinking on the floor. Not red. Blue. A small tracking beacon I had pulled from the crawl space. One Noah had secretly taped under the wheelchair months ago when his mother accidentally left him home alone for 10 hours. And now, it was synced. Within 30 seconds, headlights flooded the front windows. Police. 3 cruisers. A 4th pulled up behind the gate she thought would keep me inside. She screamed. He ran. Noah crawled out of the shadows and took my hand without a word. They were both arrested. And as they were taken away, I finally spoke. You said I'd never walk away. But we just did.